Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Rik Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
That's right. My name is Rik Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. We're going to have a great day over here. I'm excited, Joe, because it rained last night. It rained again overnight. Got caught in the rain while going for a jog, by the way. But that's always a good thing. It's a good omen. I wake up in a good mood when the grass is wet, you know, when the flowers are blooming, all of that stuff. It's going to be a great day. It's a little bit gloomy here in San Antonio, but it's going to be a fantastic day. We're talking sports, pop culture, and nostalgia. We're going to have to get into CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is holding out at Cowboy camp. The Cowboys reporting this week, and CeeDee Lamb is, let's just say he's trying to get some leverage there. He is arguably the best wide receiver in all of the NFL.
You think so?
He hasn't made jack his entire career, and now he wants to get paid.
I think the bigger conversation is who's actually going to be worth more. Is it going to be CeeDee Lamb or is it going to be Dak Prescott?
And that's the thing, because the Cowboys have said, according to the Dallas Morning News, Calvin Watkins reporting, saying that earlier this week that the Cowboys basically said that CD is their priority more than Dak Prescott. And you could also make the argument that Micah Parsons is more important than Dak Prescott. I cannot believe this, Joe. I cannot believe this. I never thought I'd see the day where the Cowboys are going to be moving away from Dak Prescott, but it looks more and more like that is the case. Maybe, just maybe, Dak should have just held out years ago.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe Dak did this to himself. Maybe Dak should have signed a long-term contract, or maybe he doesn't want to be a Cowboy. Who's to say that that's not the case? Who's to say that he hasn't gone up to Jerry and Steven and said, hey, I'm done over here. I want to go to Las Vegas. I want to go to New York.
Sam Salinas says, pay him. Pay him.
It's going to cost about 60.
If you pay him, do you have enough for Dak?
I mean, for CD and all that, you're going to be thin.
I mean, if you bring CD back, you pay him. What are you going to tell Dak? Hey, man, can you do us a solid? Take a pay cut or less years?
That's the thing about the quarterback market right now, is that the quarterback market's not based on who's the best. Because if that was the case, Patrick Mahomes would be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL as opposed to number 8 or 9. They pay according to whoever's next in line to get paid. And that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it is. And if you want a franchise quarterback, you got to pay the man. And if you don't have a franchise quarterback, you got to hope and pray that you get one in the draft that is worth a damn. Caleb Williams right now in Chicago. Chicago is blessing Caleb Williams with all that they have around him right now. Chicago poised for a very good season, a bounce-back season for once. Meantime, you take a look at the Houston Texans. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. They got Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
You know, they got all of these good players. Dalton Schultz. They got all these good players around him. And C.J. Stroud is going to have a fantastic career because of it. Do not be surprised if the Texans go off and make a big run this year. I know they have a tough schedule, but right now the Cowboys are in a very weird situation. They either have to take the elevator up or the elevator down, and it seems more and more like they're taking the elevator down, Joe. Dude, I would not be shocked if the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs this year. They might be 9-8, 10-7.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs. This is all for the Eagles to take, man.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to take the NFC East this year. It almost feels like the Cowboys are punting on this season. That's what it feels like. So we're going to talk about the Cowboys today. We're going to talk about the Spurs. Fernandez, you know him, you love him. Rik Fernandez, retired United States Marine Corps. He was at the Spurs Summer League in Las Vegas, and he's going to tell all the stories.
All
the players that he met, all the coaches, running into Brian Wright, all of that stuff. He's our correspondent out there. We're going to talk to Fernandez about that as well.
Yeah, we are. We're going to also shout out to Chicana Fuerte, his better half here.
Yeah.
She's actually helping run the show from behind the scenes. So she's being our producer, our co-host, or not co-host, but our dual producer for today's show.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Chicana Fuerte. The YouTube chat line's already open. I see Sam Salinas is there, Mario Cavazos, Midtown, Taco Tuesday. It's going to be a big day here in San Antonio. Yeah. Big show. By the way, there's a famous rapper who's going to be carrying the Olympic torch in Paris. And when I found out which rapper it was, you could have given me 100 choices and I wouldn't have guessed it right. What is Snoop Dogg doing out there carrying the torch?
Hey, man, if anybody deserves to carry the torch, you don't think it's Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg, everybody loves his music. He's such a great personality, and he seems
Yeah.
like a really nice dude.
If
man.
we went back in time to 1994,
Yeah.
and said that did you know that 30 years later, Snoop Dogg would have the life and the career that he has right now, we never would have believed
Would
it.
you think he would still be alive?
Exactly. I mean, Easy's dead, right?
Yeah, man.
You know, Pac is dead, Biggie's dead. Meantime, Snoop is just living life, man.
I think the weed's keeping him alive.
Snoop, Ice Cube, and Dre did it right, man. they were like, this is a business. This is not our life.
Yeah.
This is a business, but
Hey,
we'll
man.
get into that.
We got some news that we got to share too. And I know we're going to talk about this later on, but pour some out, man, for the Acadiana Cafe. They're going to close in August. Are we going to have lunch there maybe sometime next week?
Didn't even know it was still open.
Are we going to do lunch next week?
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you go back in time. You know what would be a great topic? And this is for the people who are in the chat.
Yeah.
What is the one local restaurant that if it closed would break your heart?
China Rose, no doubt.
Ding Hao.
That it can go, dude. It ain't China Rose, man.
Dude, Ding Hao is superior to China Rose.
No,
It ain't even
man.
close, dude. It ain't even close. China Rose was
No, man.
Ding
I love
Hao
me
is
some China Rose.
delicious.
I ain't gonna stand for that China Rose slander, Mike.
Dude, at least Asians are making the food at Ding
No,
Hao.
man. That's some hood Chinese, man.
Man, exactly. That's not you're not doing yourself any favors right there.
It has a different flavor, man.
Oh my god.
You know what was top tier that does make me sad now that we lost is that we lost the Chinese restaurant or the Chinese food that was made inside the OG HEB
Dude,
on Marbach Road.
I was
Oh,
talking about that the
God,
other day. The
dude.
one on Marbach, the one at Bandera and 410 at Marketplace.
Top tier, man.
Dude, it was.
And it was made by Asians.
It was so freaking good. And now I go to the Marketplace every once in a while and I just look at that one corner and I'm like, oh my God, it's not there anymore.
Bring it back, man.
Dude.
And the other thing that we miss here in Marbach, when they had the West Lakes Mall, the Asian buffet that they used to have there was elite.
Yeah.
I know you probably never went, but it was so damn good.
Did you hear about the Haktua girl getting hit on by one of Jake Paul's friends?
Oh no, I thought you were going to talk about her and her picture with Hulk Hogan, the Hulk.
Oh, I know. That's funny. Yeah, she was at the Jake Paul Mike Perry fight.
Yeah,
we'll show some video of her getting hit on and not liking it.
Oh Lord. I mean, she's a young woman, you know.
She's cute. I mean, he shot his shot. He didn't seem to be like overzealous, overbearing about it.
Yeah, but the thing is,
she just looked at him like, no.
Yeah, but the thing is too, man. I mean, she's probably getting hit on all the time now that she's propelled to stardom. But I mean, just because she's a cute young woman doesn't mean that she always wants to be hit on at every single event or all the time. Maybe she just wants to have a good time and be left alone.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, things kind of change as time goes on, right?
Yeah,
it's funny because people's attitudes towards dating changes. You know, what the way that they were when they were in their teens, their 20s, 30s, and if they're single again in their 40s and 50s, it all changes. I had this one client one time who told me that he had been divorced 3 times. Right? He goes, I married hot chicks every single time. First time I married a girl was because she was hot. She took half my stuff. I married another a hot woman, took half my stuff. Married another hot woman, took half my stuff. And then he told me, he goes, Michael, all I really want right now is a nice girl with good credit. That's all he wanted. He lived and learned, baby.
What's your credit score? Don't show me your 1099s or your W2s.
Oh,
what's
man.
that credit score?
You know, I don't care about 36, 24, 36. I care about 750, baby. That's what I'm talking
So
about. That's what he was going at.
You're
with
not going to
that.
impress the ladies with your 1099s.
No.
Now it's going to be the credit score.
And you know what's so funny about
God,
that?
man.
What's so funny about that is money is important when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
It is because no one wants to go to Taco Tuesday. I know we have somebody named Taco Tuesday here,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about like Taco Bell on Taco Tuesday.
Tornado analysis. Gateland West still open.
Nobody wants to go do that, right? But it's all about like just vibing. You know, I was asking Pledge the other day. I was like, Pledge, you know, tell me about dating, man. And he goes, just looking for a girl with a vibe. It's all about the vibe.
That would be Pledge's reaction to it, because Pledge is just a vibe himself. He's just chill. He just wants to have a good time. I think he has a mean bone in his body, dude. He's so super nice.
He is super nice, and to go out and play golf, and it's funny because we were, they put you with other players. If you're a twosome, they want you to at least have a 3 or 4 person thing going on the golf course. And we had this nice young guy that was with us, and he and Pledger became like besties by the end of the round. Pledger gave me crap though because I got tired around hole 16. I was also hungover and drunk
again.
Well, I mean, we were drinking nothing but Bloody Marys. I didn't have any breakfast or lunch out there. I didn't have any snacks. While I was golfing, I had about 4 Bloody Marys. I had a beer and a shot.
Was it a Fireball?
No, it was I don't know, it was something fruity. It was like Sex on the Beach or something like that.
Before it got trashed, right? Because the golf cart came and messed everything up.
Oh yes, that girl just completely just crashed into the building. It was crazy, man.
Liquor bottles everywhere.
It was crazy. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about what time is Fernandez going to be on?
He should be coming on any minute. Look at this. Taco Tuesday says in Cali, the wives take 70%.
I don't know if it's 70.
That's something like
that.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and bounce back on that one. I doubt it's 70 because
look, there it is. There it is. Let's see this comment again. In Cali, our ex-wives take 70%, keeping 50%.
I'm calling nonsense. Nobody's keeping 70, dude. Nobody's keeping 70. I gotta look into that. But I guess the difference is that if you're gonna get to 70, that might be that they allow alimony and stuff like that in Texas.
Yeah.
In Texas, if you got knocked up by Jeremy Sohan, if you got knocked up by Stephon Castle, if you got knocked up by Victor Wembanyama, the most you're going to get in child support in the state of Texas is $1,840. They get capped here in Texas, man. Even multimillionaires get capped at just $1,800. I don't know if that's cool or not, but at least there won't be any gold diggers so much on that. I mean, 1840 is good money, but still. If your guy is making millions of dollars, there is a cap here in the state of Texas. We're doing sports, pop culture, nostalgia. We're going to be talking more about music down the way. I saw this chart the other day that my daughter sent me.
Yeah.
Talking about the top songs from 12 years ago, the top 10 list. And I was amazed. I was like, man, that was a good year. I didn't realize how good 2012 was when it came to music, man.
What was the other year that we had a whole bunch of bangers? It was like in the 90s or 89, 90, something like that.
Well, I would say 88 through like 98 was just banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, because you had like Snoop Dogg, you had like Nirvana, you had all these bangers released all like in close proximity to one another.
Remind me about Will.i.am. Do you know who Will.i.am is?
Oh yeah, part of the Black
Eyed Peas.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas.
I saw an interview he did yesterday where he was talking about how he does a unique podcast.
Yeah,
because his co-host is an AI.
That's crazy, dude.
And he has a conversation with an AI, 2 different ones, a male AI and a female AI.
Yeah,
and I found that to be interesting, man. He's a very good character. Black Eyed Peas, one of those bands where they had a moment, man. They had like a 4 or 5 year stretch there. I want to say like 2006 to 2010, where they were everywhere, man. Fergie was everywhere. Where Apple was everywhere.
This was at the time when they were just like at their peak.
Yeah,
banger after banger after banger.
They were, man. And back, that was around the time that the Pussycat Dolls were big, dude. Remember the Pussycat Dolls?
God. Good
Lord, man, dude. Nicole Scherzinger of the Pussycat Dolls would have been a 1 seed in our baddie bracket back in the 2008.
Was she could give like Kim Kardashian a run for her money back in the day when they were both young.
Yeah, when Kim wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
when Kim wasn't crazy. But we have a special guest coming on to the Alamo City Sportscast right now. Again, we talk sports, pop culture, nostalgia. We talk Spurs as well. And who else to talk to about this other than Fernandez, Rik Fernandez, retired United States Marine Corps. Dude, you are jet setting. What city are you in today, my man?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, I'm back in San Diego, man. Back in San Diego.
Yeah, I called him yesterday, man. And this is the thing. I told him no mames way. Because I said, man, it's like 100 degrees here in San Antonio. He goes, bro, I'm just chilling on the beach and it's like 72, 73, dude.
And it's a weird thing being in San Diego because I've been there a few times. The weather's beautiful, but the water's so cold. It's not like going to like South Padre Island where it's like 95 degrees and it's like stinking hot, but at least the water will cool you down and it's warm enough to enjoy. getting into the water in San Diego is a bit much, man. It's a little much, man. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, the Pacific is pretty cold, man. The Pacific gets really cold. This is why I just get my beach cabana. I sit down, I have my drinks, I chill. I'm good, man. I don't need to get in that water. Steph likes to get in the water, so she'll be like, dragging me out into the deep ends of the ocean, and I'm like,
it's cold as hell,
I'm good,
dude.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about your experience with Spurs Summer League, because you're a staple at the Spurs Summer. That's not Spurs, but Summer League in general. Because when you make the trek out there, you've been going, and it's like a family tradition with you, where you go with your sons and you all enjoy just the whole gamut of what Summer League has to offer. So tell us about your tradition a little bit.
Yeah, man. So I have 3 sons, and ever since 2015, we've been going to the Summer League. That's when I got stationed out here in Southern California. So I was like, hey, man, Vegas ain't too far. You know, a lot of my Marine Corps career was out on the East Coast. And then I did some time in Austin. I'm doing the officer program at the University of Texas. But when I came out to the West Coast, I said, man, I'm not too far from Vegas. Hey, let's go check out the Summer League, right? So this was 2015, the year after the Spurs won the championship. And it was the year that Kyle Anderson was a rookie and Becky was coaching. And the Spurs won the Summer League championship that year, the first year we went. So it started in 2015. And ever since then, man, we've been making a father-son tradition where we go every year out there. And it's awesome, man. Like the engagement you get with the players. It don't matter what your team is. If you're a hoops fan, one of your bucket list experiences got to be the Vegas Summer League.
Now let's talk about the rookies that you see out there, because the Vegas Summer League, it's a bunch of rookies out there, but then you also have these journeymen who are trying to latch onto teams. I know Bouye was your guy. He still is your guy. These are players who are trying to make it into the NBA. Real fast, I'm looking right now at a CBS Sports column from this morning, and they're grading the Summer League performances of every single player that was a rookie that was taken in the top 15, top 20. Here's how they ranked them, and I know you saw some and you didn't see others, but if those that you did see, let me know what you thought. Number 1 pick was Zachary Sarche of the Hawks. According to CBS Sports, they gave him a B-, a B- for the Summer League. Alex Sarr, who famously went over 15 in a game, they gave a C. Reed Shepherd of the Rockets, they gave him an A+, and they said this guy is a bucket getter. Stephon Castle of the Spurs, they gave an A-. It says that Castle showed that he was able to be diverse in what he does. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, knocked down a pair of 3-pointers. Say that he's going to learn a lot from Chris Paul. Other players, Ron Holland of the Pistons got a B+. Tijani Saloon, B- for the Charlotte Hornets. Donovan Clingan, an A-. Rob Dillingham, an A-. Zach Edey of Memphis, a B+. And lastly, Cody Williams, a B. I'll give one more. Matas Buzelis.
Matalo.
Man, that dunk he did where he stared down that guy, A-. Nikola Topic, non-applicable because the guy's hurt. Devin Carter, non-applicable because he's hurt. So it's kind of interesting that you see the players that were taken in the lottery. You saw some of them play out there in Las Vegas. Which ones caught your eyes, and what did you see out of Stephon Castle when he was out there for the Spurs?
Yeah, man. Again, man, I'm gonna be unbiased. Man, Reed Shepherd, I saw him up close and personal, and yeah, the kid could shoot. The kid can defend. I mean, it's wild because he doesn't look that big. Like, again, kind of going back to the Summer League experience, you could buy a $60, $50 ticket and get pretty close down to the floor, which is unheard of in any other arena. You're not buying no $50, $60 seat and basically sitting like 4 rows from the bench. So that's kind of where I was, and that's the general admission, and I can get into that later how all that works. But I was pretty close. One of the games before the Spurs was the Rockets, and Reed, man, that kid is a deadly shooter, and he's cold. Like, he's ice cold. Like, he ain't out there arguing with refs or upset when he misses a shot. Like, the dude's deadly. Like, I'll give him that. I'll give they got a good one with Shepherd. I saw Buzelis up close too, man. That dude's another one, man. He's he's powerful down there. He looks, again, man, all these guys, it goes back to like Wemby last year. they're 18, 19, 20, and like they're not even fully developed into their frame. Buzelis looks like a little kid, man. He's like all skinny and lanky. But same thing with Reed. Like you see him and you're just like, I could take that guy. You know what I mean? Nah, man, don't get it twisted. And of course Castle. He didn't. He only played a game. He didn't a game or two. He didn't play the whole summer league. But when he was out there, hey, he was as advertised, defending, disrupting, making plays on and off the ball, shooting. The knock on him was he can't shoot. I mean, the dude was shooting pretty well. He was getting his teammates involved. And what was cool was when he wasn't playing, he was on the bench. Every single game that he didn't play, he was sitting there on the bench, rallying his team, giving high fives. Like, again, man, that's the number 4 player, the number 4 draftee. He could have been like, hey, I'm good. I'm going to chill, or I'm going to, or whatnot, right? So he's out there. So that kind of shows the quality of a teammate that he is, I think. But yeah, man, it's exciting, man. A lot of those rookies, I feel like a lot of people weren't that excited about Richard Shea and Sarr, maybe because they're not American and because they kind of weren't putting up the numbers or whatnot. So a lot of people seem to be more excited about the Zach Edey's and these other guys,
Yeah, the top guys were a little bit more raw than what people wanted to admit. We have lots of great comments coming in. Drew Show saying a lot of people doing a redraft right now have Castle and Reed Shepherd going 1 and 2 because I think that might actually be the case. Handle of Fist says, going to be many, many years of watching Shepherd versus Castle. I want to see if Castle can shut down Shepherd. And
that's going to be fun.
And it's funny, others are saying that they didn't realize that he had this game, it being Shepherd, right? Because Shepherd going out there, the guy shot 52% from 3 in college. 52% from 3. And even though he was 6'3", was somebody that averaged more than a block per game, got more than 2 steals per game in college. And you look at it, the big thing about Reed Shepherd was they would always say, if the dude is 6'6", he would be the number 1 overall pick, and it wasn't even close.
Look at that comment right now from Tony Ornelas. He said, Reed Shepherd looks amazing. Never knew that the kid could ball like that. He slows down the game to his style and makes the game look simple.
He does.
Absolutely.
It's effortless. It is effortless. But the thing is, you ask the question, which one would you rather have, Jimenez? Stephon Castle, Reed Shepherd? I would rather have Stephon Castle. Not because I've already declared him to be my son, but because you can't teach 6'6".
Yeah.
You can't teach 6'6", 215. And at the end of the day, you got to get a stop. And the fact of the matter is that Stephon Castle can lock down the 1, 2, 3, and maybe even a 4 from time to time. Whereas when you look at Reed Shepherd, he's only going to be locking down 1s. That's it. He's going to be oversized at some point when he's playing against NBA quality players.
Yeah, I want to go and get into this too with you, Rick. Let's go ahead and get your take, though. But I'm going to start putting up some pictures of your experiences out there at the Summer League. But yeah, go ahead and answer Mike's question.
Oh yeah, no. So I think the difference is going to be the size. Like Mike said, if Shepherd was 6'6", woo, we'd be having a different conversation. So
right.
And again, man, this ain't Spurs homer bias. I love that kid, Reed Shepherd. I'm telling you, I'm watching him up close. The kid's amazing. But I do think it comes down to the size and the defensive prowess. So, at 6'3", and sometimes your shot's not going to be there. That, you know what I mean? Like we know how that is. Like, so let's say he doesn't have a good shooting night. Now it's going to be like, oh man. So Castle's always going to be 6'6", no matter any bad night he has. Right? He's always going to have that defensive prowess. So that's kind of the difference, And again, people are going to say, oh, you're just saying that because the Spurs drafted Castle. No, I agree. If Reed was 6'6", then we'd be having a different conversation. But
he'll never be a defensive liability.
Right.
6'6" will never be a defensive liability, but Reed Shepherd at 6'3" maybe exposes that if he's not going to be the point guard, because Reed Shepherd, for all intents and purposes, is a shooting guard. Mm-hmm. He's a combo, but he's most likely a shooting guard, and he's a short shooting guard. So don't get me wrong, he is a dynamic shooter. He can knock down threes like crazy, but at the other side of the floor, when it comes time to play defense, he might be bodied up by bigger players. I can't see, for example, Reed Shepherd defending Luka Doncic.
Right.
A big, bulky guy. But I can see Castle at 6'6.5", 215, 220, being able to not be intimidated by that. That's what I mean. Offensively, obviously, Reed Shepherd is a little bit better than Stephon Castle. He knocks down threes at a 52% clip, whereas, we'd be lucky if we got 32% from Stephon Castle in his rookie season. But and Shepherd's not going to shoot 52% as an NBA player. He's not. He'll shoot 40, 42%. But defensively, though, you know what you're going to get, and you're not going to take Stephon Castle out of the game the last 2 minutes because he's a defensive liability. That's the difference. We have a super chat coming in from the Drew Show. $5. Thank you so much for the tip. Says, white Kentucky player who can shoot. Tell me how Reed isn't a shorter Tyler Hero. Change my mind. Do the Rockets have enough shots for all those guys? That's the thing. I kind of feel like they need 2 or 3 basketballs out there because they have a bunch of guards out there. Was kind of surprised that they took Reed Shepherd because the idea was a lot of people were saying that they were going to pull a last-minute trade and maybe go after Donovan Clingan instead and leave the Spurs with that Shepherd versus Castle dilemma. But the Rockets have a special player. And I know you're saying that he's JJ Redick. I know you're saying that he's Tyler Hero. But the thing is that he plays defense in the passing lanes better than most players. So he's better defensively. But at the end of the day, give me Castle. At the end of the day, I want the 6'6" guy.
That would have been an
Go ahead, Rick.
That would have been an interesting dilemma if Reed Shepherd would have been there at 4. I'm just curious how that would have played out if Reed was still there at 4. I guess I'm kind of glad he wasn't, just because that would have been tough. But go ahead, Tony Ornelas.
Yeah, Tony Ornelas is saying Tyler Hero is not a true point guard. There is a difference. And comment to the Drew Show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a great dilemma, man. It's a great.
It would have been great to have. Yeah.
But the Spurs were in a win-win situation at that point because I didn't want Reece Shea necessarily. I didn't want Sarr. I didn't want Clingan. I wanted either Stephon Castle, Reed Shepherd. Castle was my 1, Reed Shepherd was my 2. But you could have talked me into Reed Shepherd all day long. But you take a look at these reviews of what people did in Las Vegas, and you see players that maybe they were with the G League Ignite, maybe they came from a smaller school, who suddenly are doing so well when put on center stage. Ron Holland being one. Ron Holland was supposed to be a top 3 player in the draft. Then he got mocked all the way into the teens. Then the Pistons got him at 5, and he looked good. Mm-hmm. This might be a better draft than what people gave it credit for. I don't know if there's any superstars in there, but there's a lot of good talent that was in this draft.
And we talked about that on this show. We talked about that months ago, about it's not necessarily a bad draft. It's just not a superstar draft, which that's not a bad thing, and we said that. And I think people get confused with, the hype of a Wemby or a LeBron or somebody that's coming out, and they say, well, if there's nobody like that in this draft, then it has to be a bad or weak draft. And that's not necessarily the case. I think there's a lot of good pieces and a lot of good role players that are going to be out of this draft. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's what a lot of teams need. Some teams don't need, they don't need the big superstar when you already have a star on your team and you're just filling in some of the roles. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, and I don't know when Joe wants to get into this, but there's a lot of interesting stories about some of these players who, are that play overseas, that are trying to crack rosters. Like, obviously we talk about the stars and all that, and people kind of joke about some of these bench guys that are at the end of the bench. Man, like how difficult it is to just be at that level, right? And we laugh and people joke about players, but no, like seeing some of these guys and talking to them, because what's cool about it is, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, some of these guys, I am not exaggerating, ice up their knees, get their bags, and walk out the same door I walked out of, and get into their, Honda, Nissan, BMW, whatever, and drive off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Some of these, they're not all multimillionaires that have a staff that are, some of these guys literally are like scratching and clawing to try to be the 15th man on a team.
It's like going to the missions game and trying to watch a baseball player in AA, AAA, who's knocking on the door of the majors. That's what it is. They're getting paid basically what teachers make.
Right.
for the most part, right?
Right. And like these dudes are like amazing athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like they would go to, you know, a Miller's Pond or whatever and just like go crazy on motherfucker. You know,
Miller's Pond legend Mike Jimenez.
I am a Miller's Pond
No,
legend.
mames, Mike. Come on.
Indoors, not outdoors.
No.
I
they
do
would
single
go
rims,
to
not double rims, dude.
You're an
Yeah,
indoor dog, dude.
They would go to your local YMCA's and just be insane, you know. And no, like a lot of these dudes are 4-year college players, standout athletes, stand out in their high school, stand out in their college. And another thing is like I have a teenage son who plays ball. I like to take him for him to see that kind of stuff. That, you know, there's, you know, in life in general, the definition of success is different for everybody, right? So just because you don't make it to the NBA and you're not getting multi-million-dollar paychecks doesn't mean you're not a success as a pro baller. You know, I met a lot of pro ballers that are like playing in Paris, playing in the Philippines. They're playing professional basketball, what they love to do. I would argue that is a success. You know what I mean? Yeah, they didn't crack an NBA roster and that kind of stuff. They're still trying to, and they might, you know. So it's just very interesting and in talking to some of these guys, you know, guys like Ledbetter, right? The Spurs, the Summer League and Austin legend, Jeff Ledbetter. He was there in attendance, just chilling, watching the games. You know, guys like Tyson Ward, who was on the Spurs roster, who I got a chance to meet, and his uncle. He plays ball in Paris, right? And he's trying to make the roster. Riley Minix. Right there. There's Ledbetter. There's Ledbetter, the legend right there. If you know Spurs basketball, if you know Austin and Summer League, you know Jeff, you know Ledbetter, man. That's the legend right there. Dude is barely 6 foot something, or he's like 6'2", whatever, and he's a scrappy dude. Was always playing in Austin. He said he just retired recently playing overseas ball. But he said, man, you know what? I never made an NBA roster, but I played professional basketball for my career, and I loved it. So,
and he was next to another legend, dude. You stacking the cups, man. That's you
right there. I mean, yeah, there you go. There's 2 Summer League legends. The Summer League is where legends are made, and there's 2 right there.
You either keep up or you pass out, right?
There it is.
Hey, but let's get into some of these pictures, man, because you're taking pictures with a lot of these athletes and also these coaches. So I'm going to scroll through here one at a time, and you let us know, who is this that you're taking a picture with?
So right there, you got Malachi Branham. I think he was Jimenez's son, or unless he disowned him. I don't know, but
I don't know if he conveyed for Jimenez.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You got guys like Malachi Branham, Sandro Mamuskalasvili. They were there in attendance. They were there watching the Summer League guys, which is another cool thing about there's Bouye right there. The guy like Zach Collins was in attendance. The main roster Spurs players come, and every other team, but I'm just talking about the Spurs right now, will come and watch.
That's Malik Rose?
That's Malik Rose, bro. We were talking 99 championship. Man. I see Malik Rose walking around. I said, hey, man, we got to talk about that 99 chip. You know, and we were laughing and joking, and my son's there with him. Super nice guy, super good guy. And a lot of these former players that we grew up on, you know, now are like scouts, coaches and all that. So these are other people that are walking around the Summer League that you can kind of interact with and talk to, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to show some of these other pictures too that we didn't really get to show this last time, but we are now. This is you taking a picture.
This is a crew. So I'm in obviously the far end. The other far end is my son. These guys in the middle I didn't know who they were. We just saw each other as first fans, and we were like, what's up? And we all got together and took a picture. That's another thing that's cool about this. You just see other fans that you don't even know personally, and we just gathered together and bonded, and like we're like repping the Spurs. So that was cool.
Let's look at this too. Who is this that you're taking a picture?
That's Willie Green. That's Willie Green, the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. Cool guy, was sitting right next to me, and a super cool guy. I offered him a beer, but he was like, no, I'm good. He's like, I'm trying to stay laser focused.
And there's the guy that sang Party Rock Disco.
Yeah, this is Tyson Ward. Yeah, this is Tyson Ward. This is the guy I was telling you about, who I met, him and his uncle. He plays pro ball in Paris, trying to crack the roster. Really good dude. He did 4 years at North Dakota State. Standout, went undrafted, went to go play overseas for a couple of years, and he's trying to crack the roster. And a funny thing about him is it was him and Riley Minix were there, and I was talking to them, and I was like, hey man, we need y'all in Austin, we need y'all in San Antonio, and they were like, yeah man, we would love it. And I started showing them pictures on my phone of me with Brian Wright and Pop, and I was like, I'll talk to these guys for y'all. I'll talk to these guys for y'all. You know? And they were. And they were like, hey, can you really? You know, it was pretty funny.
The audio coming out. Hey Rick, I'll give you 1 second to see if the audio comes back.
Yeah,
you
let's see if
kind
your
of
audio...
dropped off. We have some comments coming in right now. Drew Show coming out and saying Stephon Castle is a better player than Scoot Henderson, who was generational. It has been said. Scoot Henderson drafted last year in the top 3. Others talking about, the Spurs and how fortunate we are to have gotten Stephon Castle in the draft at number 4. It is a fortunate position to have. That was the guy that I wanted for months. I was talking about that on Locked On Spurs.
Yeah.
I was talking about it here. By the way, speaking of the Spurs, if you want to show my screen, I'm on slcdunk.com. What is SLC? SLC is Salt Lake City. So what do the people who cheer for the Jazz have to say about the Spurs going after Lauri Markkanen? They're saying that the Spurs would have to give up, from a Jazz fan perspective, please give us Keldon Johnson and 4 or 5 first rounders. That ain't gonna happen, dude. That ain't gonna happen.
Too much, man. That's too much
for a 1-year rental.
No,
I want Lauri Markkanen on this team so badly, badly. I want him on this team, but this guy has 1 year left on his deal. Just wait till February and go get his ass at that point.
Yeah, they can just wait till he becomes a free agent. More than likely, he's going to go ahead and test the free agency market because he's got a lot of attention already.
Right.
So it's in his best interest to try to get that bag.
And we've talked about this. LeBron James, when he gets interviewed, asked the question, who's the one player you love watching play?
Yeah.
He said Lauri Markkanen. That was the first name that came out of his mouth when he was asked that question. He goes, I just like watching Lauri Markkanen play. Yeah. I just like what he does. I found that to be fascinating. But we have Fernandez back with us right now.
He's back.
1, 2, 3, 4 United Marine Corps. There you go. So we're talking about Lauri Markkanen, right? Because he's still a member of the Jazz. The Jazz are still trying to get rid of him. Golden State Warriors also in the mix, but there's a question about as to the player because is it Pods or Kuminga? The Warriors want to give up Kuminga, reportedly. Jazz no, we want another guy. Spurs, it might take 4 or 5 first rounders to make this happen. Now, I would assume that if that's going to happen, it would be a sign and trade because you don't want to give up that much capital for someone who's not going to be there forever. I want Lauri Markkanen, man, but at the same time, I cannot believe I'm buying into the Brian Wright right now, dude. I can't believe that I'm buying into it because that Atlanta pick,
I love it.
That Atlanta pick, Trae Young sprains an ankle. Trae Young gets an ACL. Suddenly, we're back in the top 5 in a superstar draft. The Spurs are not going to get the Jazz pick. I mean, the Bulls pick or the Hornets pick this year. It's good. The Hornets pick will turn into a second rounder in the future. The Bulls one will be moved to 2026. But there's something about this 2025 draft I want to be in. They say that you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket, right? I want to be in the lottery. I want to have those days where it's like the Spurs win or lose. Who cares what happened to the Hawks? I want to have that situation where Trae Young goes down with a torn ACL and I pretend like I care. I want to have where I pretend like, oh man, I feel bad. Prayers up. Thoughts and prayers. Whereas inside I'm like,
it's like, if it ain't, you need that shirt. If it ain't right, it's wrong. Right, Rick? we need to get Mike that shirt.
Actually, yeah, Dakota, Dak from Campeche made a shirt that said something like that. Yeah, if it ain't right, it's wrong. It's, man, you know what? It's. I like Lauri too, man. I would love Lauri, man. We've been manifesting Lauri like all summer, But yeah, at what price is really what it comes down to, And we already know Ainge, and we know he's gonna ask for the farm, and like you said, a lot of people, the smart move is, hey, just wait it out. Maybe you could get him, But
I want to get back to your pictures here and your stories too, Rick.
Yeah.
Because you took a lot. Who is this?
The Rocket used to love to hate, man. Sam Cassell.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
That was cool. That was probably one of my favorite non-Spurs pictures because, he's an assistant coach right now. He was just kind of hanging around. I'm telling you, so like right there where we're at, it's like the in between the concourses where you buy food and beer and merchandise, and that's where you'll literally see people like Sam Cassell just hanging out, talking to people, walking around.
Real fast. We're talking about Sam Cassell. If you can show my screen.
Sure.
This is Sam Cassell's reaction to meeting Angel Reese. He's got to watch his hands, man.
That.
Hey,
He's got to watch his hands.
I think you just drinking that haterade, Mike. Mike, you jealous?
That's my girl.
Mike's jealous.
Watch your hands, oh man. Like, how do you come up to somebody in the middle of a court and just do this move? What's this maneuver called?
Hey, when you're a guy like Sam Cassell, man, you got a couple of rings. You know what I mean? You got some cred on the court. You know, hey, Angel Reese didn't look like she was upset about it. You know.
Angel Reese looks like she could still take a one-on-one, baby.
Don't hate, appreciate, Mike.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Right.
Oh, wait.
I just got an alert that said breaking news. Brent Berry joining the Phoenix Suns staff in some type of
really?
Wow.
or what? But
hey, let's go ahead and show this too, because I want to show almost all the pictures you got, because some of them are pretty good.
Man.
This one,
the drip can, baby.
Come on, man. You're just stacking those stuff. You know you're gonna come out on the Jumbotron, bro.
Nice.
You know, and look at that, dude. You're with another fan too. You know, looks like a jazz fan. You know,
you know what? That was a jazz fan, and he was from originally from Japan, but now he lives in Salt Lake City. And I was talking to him, and it's funny because he had like broken English, but we were talking back and forth. And I told him, I said,
we can still understand each other. And look at this picture here. This is my boy Taro.
There's the super fan. There's the Japanese super fan Taro. I ran into him out there. So it's fun, man. Like I said, man, it's fun. You get to see other fans. Oh, there it is. That's the closing credits.
So the Woj bomb that got dropped just right now, according to ESPN, says Brent Berry, who spent the past 6 seasons in the Spurs front office, is joining the Phoenix Suns as an assistant coach.
Oh, wow.
Sources tell ESPN Berry was part of 2 NBA title runs in his 14-year playing career. Congratulations to Brent Berry, man. Brent Berry, a longtime member of the Spurs organization, Austin Spurs, obviously as a player. Sad thing is that his time here will be known for that debacle that he had.
It wasn't even his fault
with Tony Parker and all that stuff. You know, I'm wearing a Tony Parker T-shirt right now, by the way. And I feel dirty reading about Brent Berry right now wearing a Tony Parker shirt. I've always said every group of guys have that one. A group of guys, friends. There's always one douchebag as part of the group, right? Tony was ours. Tony was our D-bag and part of the group. Talking to Fernandez out there in San Diego, he was fresh off the Las Vegas Summer League that the Spurs were taking part in. Before we let you go, man, right now, I think that a lot of the moves that have been made right now by the Spurs have been ideal. I am of the opinion right now that I don't really want to bitch and moan and complain this year, because if it's going to be a developmental year, they did the developmental year right. With Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul. Is it going to materialize into victories? Maybe not this year, but I think they did the development role correctly. So I have a hard time complaining, because even if we're going to rack up some losses, I think that the corporate knowledge that's going to be gained by all of this is going to be big for Stephon Castle, Trey Jones, going to be big for Jeremy Sohan, and Sohan needs a guy like Harrison Barnes so much, and I'm so happy that he was able to be part of this team. And I think Sohan is going to be a much better player just hanging out with Harrison Barnes, who's been around the block 10, 12, 13 years, who's been a starter his entire career. I'm excited about this season. May not be a 41-41 season, but I'm excited either way. What says you, man?
Yep. Oh, I think he froze on us again.
He froze on us.
Oh, let's see if he's coming back.
Well, that is Fernandez from. Looks like it froze again.
Looked like he froze on us.
Well, we'll just call it again. The breaking news.
There he is.
Okay. All right. Peace out, man. Thank you, sir. Again, the breaking news was Brent Berry is now an assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns. So we're excited about that.
We got him back, so we can.
Okay. One last question for you was basically about the Harrison Barnes being part of the team and how Sohan might be a better player because of that, being around him so often. What are your thoughts on something like that?
No, I agree. obviously, like I get accused of being like too positive or something. At the end of the day, I mean, I'm just a positive person in real life, so I don't know what to say about that. But no, real talk. Like at the end of the day, people are still gonna be upset and complain because that's what they do. But like Mike, you said it right. If they did it right, I mean, they brought in players that are going to help this squad. I always thought there was a direction, but now you kind of clearly see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul coming, mentoring Harrison Barnes. So I don't think you could be too upset, man. Other than getting a Laurie or somebody like that, they pretty much knocked this offseason out of the park. And we'll see next. I mean, this year is going to be fun, though. It's going to be a fun year. Like you said, may or may not translate to wins, but there's a direction and there's a path. So
yeah, Sam Salinas was a great question asking. He goes, "What's the difference between developmental and rebuild?" The difference is, as you alluded to, there's an actual direction being done. There was no direction the last year. There was no direction having Jeremy Sohan play point. Like, there was no point to it. It was going to be doomed from the start. They had nothing to develop last year other than the fact that Wemby was getting better game by game.
Yeah.
Now developmental means we've entered a different stage. We're no longer in the rebuild. We're in the developmental of these players. I'm excited about this upcoming season, but we're going to go ahead and move on out.
Hey, real quick, Rik, right before we let you go here, I just want to get your real quick thoughts on the closing of Acadiana Cafe, because Rik is a Marbach staple, just like me, man. Pours them out for Acadiana.
Another Marbach staple going down, man. I'm going to cry in Marbach. We had a Barnes Boozery that they already took from us. Now this one, I'm telling you, if they try to mess with my China Rose, I'm going to chain myself a sign. I would chain myself.
You and Dyer are going to be out there.
The audio's going out, dude. Let's bounce.
All right.
Hey, man. Thank you so much, Fernandez. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.
So let's get into some Cowboy talk. But before we get into Cowboy talk and NFL talk, let's give some love to MCS General Contracting. They've been there from day one with that Diamond Hard Concrete. We love them.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Concrete, and my man, I'm a client too. There, I had concrete services that needed to be done. Needed to extend my back porch. Needed to have a sidewalk done. Boom, there. Go to them for a basketball court, a pickleball court, something like that. They'll do it for you.
Parking lot for your business.
House slabs.
Even pools, they do that too.
They do it all, baby. MCS General Contracting. And Chris Leha, I like his catchphrase when it comes to the Spurs and the upcoming drafts. F them picks.
But you know what? Seriously, if you want to go ahead and get your, let's say, concrete needs or in your construction needs done right the first time, call our boy Christopher Leha over at MCS General Contracting.
We got to get into the Cowboys because the NFL training camps have already started. The Houston Texans already in camp. The Cowboys, they're already arriving out there. One player that will not be there is CeeDee Lamb, because it looks like CeeDee Lamb is going to hold out.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb wants to get the bag, and I don't blame him. He has been in the league now for 5 seasons. Hasn't been paid much as an NFL player. So much so, did you know that there are 50 players who were getting paid more than him and the wide receiver position last year? 50 other wide receivers made more money than him.
How much did he make? You were telling me.
He made $3.5 million last year. Now he got bumped up to 17, right?
Yeah.
But there were players like Noah Fant and Noah Brown and players like Deontay Johnson and Jerry Jeudy.
You got their
Darnell
numbers?
Mooney. Yeah.
You got the numbers on screen. I'm going to show them.
Who were all making more money than CeeDee Lamb last year.
Making more bank there.
Curtis Samuel made more money. Jawan Jennings made more money. Malik Neighbors, all of these players made more money than Homeboy. He made $3 million per year for a few seasons. This year, making 17, and now he's holding out because he wants the big boy money. When you take a look at the big boy money is the fact that Justin Jefferson signed a deal for $35 million a year, most of it guaranteed. Wow. 35, and Jerry Jones basically said, according to Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News this past weekend, saying that the Cowboys say that their priorities are CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and if they've got any time left over, Dak Prescott.
Dakota Rain Prescott is third on that list. So that tells you that Jerry Jones right now is making CeeDee Lamb a priority, maybe more so than one Dakota Rain Prescott.
Oh, big time. Big time. And the question that came in right here, should Lamb get paid more than Justin Jefferson? Tavares is asking that question. He should be in the range. I'm not saying that 35 million is the number, but at some point you got to look at CeeDee Lamb's numbers and think to yourself, my goodness, he's a stud. He's probably, you asked me before the show started, where would I rank CeeDee Lamb in the top 5 of all receivers in the NFL? Would you call him top 5? What did I tell you?
Number one.
That
surprised me.
He's number 1.
Yeah.
And I was very hesitant to say that from the get-go. But CeeDee Lamb, here's what it is, man. The greatest ability is what?
Durability.
And durability, availability, right? Yep. Can you go out there? So in the 4 seasons he's played, right? There have been 68 games. He has missed 4.
Jeez, man. Iron Man there, dude.
Take that back. He's missed 5. He missed 2 in his first season.
Still good.
Right? Well, no. Let me backtrack this. I'm reading this wrong. I'm talking about starting because he didn't start. I'm looking at games started. So he has missed in his entire career 1 game.
Damn.
Played all 17. Then he played all 16, played all 16. You know what? He might have played all the games now that I think about it. I'm trying to figure out when they went from 16-game seasons to 17. He played 16 in year 1, 16 year 2, 17 year 3, 17 year 4. He might have played all the games. The dude doesn't get hurt. And you go to his receiving yards per game, his receiving yards per game have gone up per reception. His touchdowns have gone from, look at the trajectory here, 5, 6, 9, 12.
Damn.
His receptions have gone from 74, 79, 107, 135. His yards receiving, 935, 1,100, 1,350, 1,750. What is that saying that he's doing per year, every year?
He's catching that damn ball.
Getting better.
Yeah.
135 receptions last year for 1,749 yards. He had 12 touchdowns, 80 catches for a first down. 80 catches for a first down. Ridiculous. And on top of that, you can set him out for a rush every once in a while.
Yeah. He's keeping those drives alive.
He had
those first downs.
Had 113 yards rushing last year. Collectively, almost 1,900 yards. He's a stud out there. Now, is he better than Justin Jefferson? Well, Brandon Big Papi Medina and his Vikings fandom is not in here.
Yeah.
But the thing about Justin Jefferson is that maybe talent-wise and maybe height-wise, because CeeDee Lamb is 6'2", kind of a smaller one. Justin Jefferson, same height, but Jefferson's a little bit girthier. Jefferson misses games because of injuries.
Because of that weight.
Yeah.
Put more of that strain on your joints.
Jefferson had that 809 yard season a couple of seasons ago. If Jefferson's worth 35, CeeDee's worth at least 33.
I can't argue with that. But the thing is with CeeDee, he wants to get paid too, and he's holding out, And Jerry Jones knows that this Cowboys team, they can't go without CeeDee Lamb. They can't go without Dakota Rain Prescott, but they can't go without CeeDee Lamb because who do you have to throw to?
They have no other weapons.
Nobody.
They don't have a running game. They have nothing going on.
Zeke's only good for 1 or 2 yards, man. Like he didn't got that power, the explosive, let's say, rush that he used to have before, when he would go out there and he could break away for a couple more yards. Now he is who he is. He's a battering ram.
Little Mac coming out and saying, I wouldn't pay Jerry Rice $35 million trade
God,
CeeDee.
Man.
Sith Elias saying CeeDee ate his spinach and drank his milk growing up, man. He is Popeye, man. He doesn't miss games. So here's a list of the top wide receivers getting paid right now in the NFL. So let's see where he belongs, right?
Okay.
Justin Jefferson, $35 million. A.J. Brown of the Eagles, 32. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions, 30. If you're going to say that those are the 3 highest paid receivers in the league, I'd buy it. Number 4 and 5, both with the Miami Dolphins. Think about that. They have the 4th and 5th highest paid receiver at $30 million and $28 million, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Yeah. Devontae Adams, $28 million. Remember, Devontae Adams a couple of years ago was the leader at $28 million. So now we're seeing the wide receiver salaries get higher and higher and higher. Cooper Kupp is the 7th highest paid receiver at $27 million. Then rounding out the top 10, Devontae Smith, DK Metcalf, and Deebo Samuel. So you got to say that he's going to get paid more than Deebo, right? More than DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, more than Cooper Kupp. He is worth $30 million. He's probably worth 33. And if you want to say 35, that's perfectly fine. But I'm looking at the list of players here and how they got paid. Yeah. It's so sad to see a top 30 list and not see CeeDee Lamb's name there. If you did a top 50 list of last year's wide receivers, his name wasn't on there. So now, again, because he's in the last year of his rookie deal and he's getting paid $17 million this year, okay, that's a lot more. He's making more this year, Joe, than he made the last 3 years before combined. Yeah, he made $10 million his first 3 years. He's making 17 this year, and he's still underpaid. Still underpaid.
You know what else we do got? This is funny to me. I just saw it right now. Said, okay, we've seen things that are trending, right, in the sports world. So we got something, man, that I'm going to share with you guys right now. And this is Joey Burrow's new look, Mike. Are you ready for it?
Oh, dude, I saw that, man.
It looks like a mugshot, bro.
Joe Burrow looking like he's going to shoot up a high school.
God, he cut off the locks.
Joe Burrow looking like he's going to try to assassinate Trump.
I mean, dude, this looks...
Okay, first of all, for Joe Burrow to do this when he was arguably, by many women's accounts out there, one of the sexiest men in football, this is the equivalent of Jimmy Garoppolo, chopping off his hair. Why would you do that?
Maybe he was hot.
It's kind of like Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, when he grows the mustache, it's like, why? You know how you look good. Why are you doing this to yourself? More aerodynamic. Joe Burrow, though. Do you know what I fear about Joe Burrow?
No.
I fear that he's the next Dan Marino.
No, man.
Remember Dan Marino made it the Super Bowl his rookie season?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, he's going to be great. He'll come back. And he never returned to the Super Bowl. I get a feeling that Joe Burrow making the Super Bowl, what was it, year 2 in his career? He'll never go back because look who he has to get over the mountain to make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
he's in the same conference as a Patrick Mahomes in his prime.
Look at the way he looked before.
Josh Allen in his prime. He's in the same as Lamar Jackson. He's in the same conference as CJ Stroud. Joe Burrow may never go back to the Super Bowl.
Look at the way the brother looked before, man.
I mean, he was a model looks,
and now, God,
and model looks, and now he's, like he looks like he's on a registry. He's like a sex offender registration.
Man, FanDuel has me laughing. If Joe Burrow wasn't a quarterback, what would be his job?
I mean, looks like he works at Costco.
It looks like a construction worker, right?
Yeah. So it's funny that I mentioned Costco right now because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she and I were going back and forth about these stores, like you these like sex shops and stuff like that. and I was talking about
the Demon Mike segment.
Well, it wasn't a Demon Mike segment. I was talking about how on Culebra Road there's that one shopping center that has a church. It has a daycare and it has a sex store. And it's like, why is a sex store right next to a daycare, between a daycare
Don't
and
they
church?
have one at that one place you frequent when you're karaokeing? When you go to karaoke?
Yes, they do have
right?
one. So,
Temptations or something like that.
So the point I was trying to make when I was talking to my friend yesterday about this, I was like, you go to like these different stores for like adult video megaplex. And I referred to the adult video megaplex as the Costco for smut. And I said,
do you feel like a cochino when you go there?
Well, it's one of those things where she was telling me, as a girl, when you walk in there, guys are looking at you a certain way.
God, man.
And I've gone to the one that's by the airport. I've gone to the one on the northeast side.
You go in disguise?
No,
wear a
man.
hat, sunglasses.
Sometimes you got to spice things up a little
Oh
bit.
my
But
God.
it's funny because like I called Megaplex the Costco of smut because it's so clean and sterile in
This is
there.
going to be the clip I'm going to put out in social media.
That's fine. It's so clean and sterile in there that it's like walking through Costco, but it's just a bunch of dildos everywhere and porn movies and all that stuff. But I was making reference to the fact that there's these Temptations. There's Hustler as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is a nice place. I've been to that one.
It's classy.
Next to All Stars, right?
Oh, but former All Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
May it RIP. But you look at like these neighborhood ones, like Temptations. Like I understand that if you're horny, you want to go to the adult megaplex and go get that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you are just going to the neighborhood one, what possesses you to go to that one?
Maybe it's convenient, but they have one right here that's
but it's
been
so
there.
Smutty.
What's that one that's over there by the Red McCombs dealership that's been on the side of the road?
Oh, it looks like a Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it has no windows. It's just a little brick building.
It's a brick building all the way around.
Yeah, everybody's been there. It's that's the neighborhood one.
Well, but that's for horny dudes.
Oh, they do have another one here that's right around the corner from us. It's right by the Canes. Remember when you're in the driveway or drive-through for Canes, and there's one right there?
Yeah. Oh, what's the name of that bar that's right there?
They changed the name of it already.
Yeah, they had Shenanigans is what
it used to be.
So yeah, but you look at these like neighborhood ones.
Yeah, that would be the neighborhood.
Even
one.
the models, like the mannequins look slutty. It's so funny, but yeah,
that's all they have there is those mannequins they have in the windows. They're just all white. Plain white, no expression.
Adult Video Megaplex again is the Costco for smut. It is, dude. It looks nice in there.
You're gonna walk out in there with your chest out.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, you come out of there, are you holding your bag and you're looking around, making sure nobody recognizes you getting in your car? Feeling embarrassed.
Little Mac coming out, bro. Porn is free on the internet. What are you doing? Going to sex shops? LOL.
You still buying on DVD, Mike?
Didn't say I was buying porn. I never said that.
You buying DVDs? But the crowd strike outage strikes again, and it strikes everybody in their home computers. You still have the DVD if the internet goes down.
DVD.
You know what?
It's 2 VHS tapes. Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl, and Debbie does Dallas. Right?
God, you got to put in the DVD, Mike. You'd be like, well, there's nothing else to do. Oh man.
Yeah, we went off the rails with that one, but I don't know. Just mention the word Costco and it brought up a conversation I had last night. It was kind of funny. But no, I mean, I was talking about like those places where you go to get like the clothes, where girls go get lingerie and try to get all sexy. I'm not going there for porn or anything, but for the girls who want to get dressed, want to play dress up, right?
Yeah.
The neighborhood ones is so scuzzy. It's like there's a barbacoa place right there, and you go in there looking for chones.
What's wrong with that? You get that for the wife, and you go get you some barbacoa with Big Red. It's a good day, bro. Nothing wrong with that. You could go to Panaderia también. Go get you some conchas, marranitos.
Man, go send a Western Union.
I'm surprised they don't have that over here at the Marbach location, where they have the Panaderia, they have the delicious tamales, and they have that little Chivito restaurant right there. Yeah.
So, the Drew Show comes out and says, R.I.P. Tony Ornelas, right, Mike? Right. Drew Show says, R.I.P. Giorgio's was next to the Red McCombs, right? If Drew Show doesn't know my tall tale about how I dated a girl who danced at Giorgio's, and I had no idea that she danced there. Went on like 3 dates with her. She told me that she worked for her parents, and my friend recognized her when I brought her over to my friend's house. And one of my friends was there. He recognized her and took me to Giorgio's.
He was taking his dollars out.
He took me to Giorgio's. I was like, oh my God, you saw her naked before I did. And I didn't want to date her anymore. And she goes, I said, you didn't tell me you were a stripper. You told me that you worked for your parents. And she goes, well, I do work for my parents. I work for them during the day. But at night I do this. And I had a hard time dating a stripper. I didn't date a stripper knowing that she was a stripper. When I found out she was, I had a hard time continuing because it's like, dude, I mean, hey, babe, hope you have a good day at work. Go have fun with those lap dances. I can't do that. I'm a liberal guy from time to time.
She goes and
but I
does
can't
that
do that
for extra money, but when she comes home, she's all yours. She'll give you a lap dance.
Oh yes, because I want to be the 8th person to put my hands on her that day. That's exactly what I did. That's
jealous.
exactly what I
You're
want.
jealous, Mike.
Yes, I'm sorry. Monogamy. Who would have thought?
Oh my God.
Yeah, sports, pop culture, and cochino references. Demon Mike made an appearance. I apologize.
Oh, look at Tony Analysis, what he's saying. How about them Cowboys or Spurs? Yawn. I was like, we haven't really talked about the Cowboys, to be honest.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. But you know what? UTSA football's on the cusp of starting their season. They get started August the 31st.
And I can't wait, man. UTSA football is so much fun. I make fun of the Alamo Dome because the Alamo Dome is a terrible place to watch a football game.
Of course it is.
But it's fun to go tailgate over there. It really is. They're going to open up their season against Kennesaw State at the Alamo Dome on August 31st. I have no idea where Kennesaw State is. Then September 7th, we got to make our way up to San Marcos because they're playing at Texas State. GJ Kenny and boys over there.
Ooh, the infamous Texas State game. Those are actually good and entertaining games.
They are. And you saw the Texas State Bobcats make a bowl game last year.
Yeah.
And this is becoming the I-35 rivalry. The schools kind of hate each other. I went to both schools, sophomore and junior year at Texas State, senior year at UTSA. So I kind of claim both schools. But GJ Kenny, man, mercenary. That guy's going to be the head coach of a big time program soon enough, man.
Are you going to go to the game wearing half a Bobcat and half UTSA?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I
wouldn't doubt it. Now, and also GJ Kenny is good friends with Coach Traylor's family at UTSA.
You know what? I was going to show this too, because this one our good friend here that I've had the pleasure of speaking with as well. Darian Talks UTSA. Great guy, man. He has a very popular show on YouTube, so make sure you go and check him out. But he was saying here, they have a poll out right now. So this is the 2024 American Football preseason poll. And where do the Roadrunners rank right now? Projected number 2.
Number 2 behind Memphis. And keep in mind, if you get that non-Power 5 entry into a big bowl game, I mean, that is still a possibility. Tim Gonzalez just out and says, yesterday SMU had their ACC Media Day, Mike and Joe.
I saw that.
SMU, I mean, they've had some pretty decent seasons recently. It's a decent program. They're getting better. It's been so long, man. Remember, they were big time back in the 80s with Eric Dickerson, and then they got hit with the death penalty, and it basically killed their program for the better part of 3 decades.
Yeah. And look at that. Talk about Cam Johnson. What do y'all think?
No really big opinion on it, to be honest with you. I
don't really think there's a lot there.
Yeah.
I think it's just all hearsay.
I mean, Cam Johnson, he's all right. I mean, would improve the team. He's all right.
JC is special lead, dude. He's still laughing at our talk with their cochino talk.
Hey, babe, how was the champagne room? Like I said, could you date a stripper? I mean, I couldn't. And even though I was like 22 years old at the time, I still couldn't do it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for that, Tim. I appreciate you being part of the show, man. He was, again, telling us about the SMU Media Day, but I believe UTSA had a Media Day as well.
Yeah, Rodrigo coming out and saying that Kennesaw State is in Georgia and their mascot is an owl. Interesting.
Cam Johnson is old. 28 years old. His age doesn't fit the timeline. Oh my God. But I am looking forward to going to the UTSA football games. Like I said, I threw our name in the hat for the media credentials, man.
First of all, I got to stop you there because you came at me, and when you asked me if I wanted to get media passes, the way that you phrased it was kind of funny. You were like, "Hey, man, Mike, I was thinking about getting media passes. Do you want to go be media, or do you want to go get smashed?"
Yeah, basically.
Do you want to go get trashed?
Which one? Trash or smash?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be in the parking lot with a bunch of Fireball, baby.
You're gonna be there with your Fireball and say, "I'll trade you 3 shots for a burger."
Yeah, it works every time, dude. And they go, okay. That's the way you do it, man. I take to, for those of you who don't know this, when I go to these college football games, I'll take about 100 shots. I get them chilled.
The little ones.
The little ones. It's the little bottles. They're about $1 each. I take a minimum of 60, but I've taken as many as 100 to like an LSU game.
Yeah.
But UTSA, I'll take like 60, and it's not just all Fireball. I take about three. I would say my normal order is 3 dozen Fireball. I take about a dozen like Svedka vodkas, the cheap vodka.
Yeah.
And then I take like Jim Beam for like regular bourbon. And then I take like a flavored Jim Beam, like the vanilla or the apple.
Okay.
And it runs about $1 per. It's about $60-$70. And people are like, well, that's $60-$70. I'm like, yeah, but I go out there and I trade it for food. I make friends, take shots. And then for those who don't know, the second floor of the Alamo Dome has a full-on bar.
Oh, yeah, dude. They do.
I mean, because you go to the concourse and they're serving you margaritas and beer, but on the second floor, you have to climb the stairs to get there. There's a full-on bar there that's really nice. And that's what we do at halftime.
There you go.
Little Mac is not excited about Fireball shots.
Oh,
Sith
yeah.
Elias says, Mike, that jalapeno, those jalapeno pineapple shot that you gave me almost made me quit drinking.
God.
That's funny.
Hey, man, but seriously, though, are you going to want the credential to go to the UTSA football game?
I'm going to want, yes, but I'm not going to be media every time.
No, of course not. I don't think we're going to make all the games, but I mean, we can go to several.
I mean, is there like a sobriety checkpoint inside the locker room?
You might see your old pal Joe Reinagle in there because he frequents the place, right?
Oh, Joe Reinagle's amazing.
You're going to be in there. Hey, Joe.
Joe Reinagle yesterday on San Antonio Sports Star was taking a victory lap yesterday about the whole Dak Prescott thing, about how they're not making him a priority. He's been saying this for the longest time. And whenever you do sports talk radio or you do a podcast and you nail it from the very beginning, like I took the victory lap on Stephon Castle. I'm the one who's been talking about Stephon Castle since like December and January and February when we had 200 subscribers and 400 and 500 and 600 subscribers. I was like, Stephon Castle. And then everyone jumped on the boat like the last week before the draft.
No,
I've been talking about Castle forever. Locked On Spurs. Even Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 was like, Jimenez has been talking about this dude from the get-go. So I feel I take a victory lap on that.
Yeah. You know, I want to do a shout out real quick too, because we want to give love to everybody that's a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to give some love to our boys, Big Papi, Brandon Medina, and also Sith Elias, man. They had a great spaces here last night. I chimed in for a little bit, stirred the pot, got things going again. Because we were talking about WWE Raw at the end of, they start 10 minutes after Raw ends. And it was interesting conversations. All the talk was about Liv Morgan. I don't know if you saw it, but she had some cake, bro.
She does. And that's the thing. When we were doing our baddie brackets, everyone was like wanting to put in all of these wrestling hotties. We're allowed just 3 or 4 wrestling hotties, man. Because again, the baddie brackets was all about talent, right? Not just booty.
It's your beauty, not your booty.
A little bit of everything, right? Show my screen real fast. ESPN has an article saying that Snoop Dogg, the famous rapper, best known for, the Doggy Style album back in the day, going to carry the Olympic torch ahead of the Paris opening ceremony. That's right. Snoop Deal Double G, who is 52 years old, will run through the streets of Saint-Denis, the northern Paris suburb, on the way to the Olympic Stadium. And this announcement was made today on X. And the rapper is going to be contributing to NBC's coverage of the Olympic Games.
God.
Dude, his voice is so distinct. It's so calming. It's so high.
Yeah.
It just sounds like he's high the entire time. But his career, man, Snoop Dogg sold millions of albums. Friends with Martha Stewart. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Tim was telling us that last night, our friend over at Sweep the League, Rudy Campos Jr., they were talking wrestling last night too, before Brandon and Sith went and did their spaces. So
that reminds me, who's Bret the Hitman Hart?
Come on, Mike.
I don't know who the hell he is.
You don't know nothing. You never watched wrestling back in the day.
I watched wrestling until I turned 16, and then I was like,
well, if you watched it before you turned 16, you would have known who Bret the Hitman Hart is, who Hulk Hogan was,
well, I knew who
Macho
Hulk,
Man.
I knew who Hulk Hogan
Come
was.
on.
Well, Hulk
Ultimate
Hogan,
Warrior.
Hulk Hogan, an Ultimate Warrior, I knew, but like Bret the Hitman Hart, you could have put him at HEB in his prime and today, like Brian Wright, general manager of the Spurs. I'd never be able to identify
Jake the
guy.
Snake. God, Mike, come on.
I wasn't into wrestling like that, man. I enjoyed it until I turned 15 or 16, and then I was like, "Ooh, I like girls," and then I stopped with the wrestling.
But girls like wrestling too.
Girls don't like wrestling.
Yeah, they do.
There ain't not one girl on that thread that you guys were having on Twitter yesterday that was like, "Ooh, Bret the Hitman Hart." There ain't not one girl, man. It's like comic books, dude.
If you go to some
girls
of these,
don't like comic books either.
If you go to some of the bigger streams that they have out there that talk wrestling, they have women on there that also talk wrestling.
There's like
because it's not just men centric anymore.
It is like 99% sausage fest at these wrestling events, dude. It is a sausage fest.
I'm just telling you, man, things are changing. That's why they have the WWE Women's Championship now, because before they didn't really have that. Now, and before, like the Attitude Era, it was more of kind of like an accessory, right?
Dude, I met The Miz and had a conversation with him for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have no idea who he was. I had to Google him afterwards.
The Miz.
He's like, I introduced myself. Hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. He goes, hi. I'm like, so what do you do? And he goes, oh, I'm in WWE. I'm in wrestling. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I remember just telling him, nice shoes. I really like your shoes. Like your suit. That was it. Apparently, The Miz was a big deal for a while, and I saw him perform at the Frost Bank Center last year when I took my daughter over there.
Yeah.
My daughter, girls get into it, and then they turn 12, and then they're like not into wrestling anymore. Boys get into wrestling until they turn 16, and then they stop, for the most part. So for me to not know who Bret the Hitman Hart is, I don't care if he's from San Antonio. Why would I care?
He's not from San Antonio.
Or he lives in San Antonio.
No, that's Shawn Michaels, bro.
Oh, no. Then it was Shawn Michaels that I didn't know. See, I don't even know who I'm talking about.
Shawn Michaels.
What's Shawn Michaels? What's his nickname?
The Heartbreak Kid.
The Heartbreak Kid. And what I say? Heartbreak Kid and Hitman.
Hitman.
Okay, I had no idea what Shawn Michaels was. That's the one. You see, that's how you know that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to this.
I have a story with Shawn Michaels, because I remember I took my son to one of the WWE events they had here. I think it was Raw, Monday Night Raw, when they passed through here years ago. And this was going to be his first wrestling match, right?
Right.
He was about maybe 11, 12 years old at the time. So I take him out there, and this is going to be Shawn Michaels' last hurrah with the WWE, right? Because of injury and whatnot. So they have a cage match, and they bring the cage down. He's sitting on top of the cage, as the crowd is leaving and everything, and everybody's giving him a standing ovation because this is it for him. And he's in San Antonio. He's from San Antonio, and we got really good seats. I mean, we're right there on ringside, and he's looking at us, and we're yelling and screaming and everything, and we're saying, wishing him the best and whatnot. And he turns around and he looks at me and my son, and he points at us. He takes off his hat, gives us a little nod and everything. And my son still remembers that to this day. Shawn Michaels is a real one.
I will say this about wrestling, though. Wrestling, very much like NASCAR, is really good about hanging out with its fans. Country music is like that when it comes to music. Very good about hanging out with the fans and being part of the community. That I do understand. But the wrestlers that I recognize in the last 20 years would have been wrestlers who were also big in entertainment, right? That would have been like The Rock, Goldberg, John Cena. Those are the ones that I recognize now. But everything below that, I have no idea who any of them are. If they became an actor, were in the Expendables, I'm all about it. If they were in the movie Blockers, I'm all about it. But come on, man. Come on.
Wrestling is a big thing. It's big business now.
It is now. There was, we talked about this with Goldberg and LeVon Eriks. There was about a 10, 15-year period where no one gave a shit.
No, people watched, but the problem is that it was the storylines, the way that it was being spun out there. It just got old and tired, man. But now there's been a resurgence recently with especially the WWE. They're doing a lot better in their promotions and also the character developments, so you have the WWE, you have AEW, and then you have the lowly TNA that people don't really watch too much, and that's kind of dying.
I probably should have gotten a selfie with The Miz. I was with him for 20 minutes.
Should have. The Miz actually, I know you don't know, but The Miz, he used to come out in the real world, New Orleans, back in the day.
Yeah.
And he did a bit there because he was always a big wrestling fan, and he had the fake belt, and he did this thing where he came out, and that was his persona, right? And he's like, I'm the Miz, and he did this whole thing. And they asked him, what is your dream? What would you like to do? He says, I wish to be a WWE wrestler one day. Sure enough, his dream came true.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Now he did mention that to me back then. But like I said, I like talking to him about, he was talking about being a dad and that his wife was also a wrestler or something to that effect. But like I said, it's just not my thing. I like going. Like if you were to say, hey, Michael, go to WWE at the Frost Bank Center, I would go there. I'd buy good tickets. I'll go. But me watching it at home, nah, I might. I'll be a square.
Hey,
I'll be a square.
You know what's going to be happening? I know you don't care, but SummerSlam's a big deal, dude. And that's going to be occurring, I believe, next week.
But I will understand that there is a big wrestling community. That I do understand. And we have Sith and Brandon being a big part of that. They talk wrestling. They have their new podcast. That's amazing. So support them when it comes to that. Again, may not be for me. I said The Dark Knight was a B+ movie. Okay, we all have different tastes. But before we go, let's give Jeff Garcia some love from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5.
Sure. Let me go ahead and pull the video for us right now. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
If you take a look at 5.com, Jeff Garcia has an article about how there's a massive billboard of Victor Wembanyama on the streets of Paris leading up to the Olympics.
El Wembeyazo.
Very nice. Excited about that. Again, Jeff Garcia, you can follow him on Spotify. You can follow him on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm oftentimes a guest. Joe's oftentimes a guest. He does a fantastic job. Taking a look also at Kens5.com right now. Scattered thunderstorms today. I'm excited. I like it when it rains, man. That's how I know I'm getting old. I get excited for rain.
You're looking at the live was it animation that they have of the actual rain coming into San Antonio.
Check this out, man. According to the 10-day forecast on Ken, 70% chance of rain today, 40 tomorrow, 60 on Thursday, 60 on Friday, 60 on Saturday, 40 on Sunday. That's not bad, man.
I'm supposed to go to the coast this weekend, and I'm thinking that we might have to reschedule that because it's like, was it 60% or something like that here? At the coast, it's like 70% on Friday, 80% on Saturday. So I'm like, what's the point of going if we're going to just be rained out?
Yeah, exactly. And again, programming note, no show on Friday. Yeah. You're taking a vacation day.
Vacay.
I'm working at a company called Hines in Houston.
Yeah,
doing a real estate investment training.
Yeah,
out there. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'll be out there, and I'm going to stay for a couple of days. Going to go hang out with some friends, and we're going to go to the Astros game against the Dodgers on Saturday.
Nice.
Those tickets are expensive, man.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't get rained out.
Like the Pirates game was cheap. I was looking at the tickets for the Pirates over there. The Dodgers, though, man.
Los Dodgers.
Jeez, it's like I would want to have seats like behind the catcher.
Yeah.
But because it's the Dodgers, I'm gonna have to sit like in left field, right field, someplace because
you're gonna have to take your mitt in case you get to catch a stray ball.
Very, very, very nice. Well, let's call it a show. Everyone, thank you for the likes and the subscriptions and all that stuff. We are 1,011 strong. Tim Gonzalez saying it's raining right now already in the Lackland area. Yeah. Jesse Martinez saying, nah, bruh. When your bones start to hurt before it rains, then you're old, man. That's true. But I'm not getting old, man. I'm 47 years old, but I have a young mind, dude. I still say that. I still believe it. It's gonna have a good weekend, gonna have a good year, man. I'm optimistic, baby. It's the first time in a long time. I'm very optimistic. But Joe, have a good day. Everyone have a fantastic day. Be safe on the roads. Be nice to people. Don't be jackasses. and we'll be back tomorrow. Go Spurs, go, go Roadrunners, go, and all of that.